it bothers me so much when I hear that. Anyways, this right here is my early 2015 MacBook Pro. It is the model A1502. I believe I'll put it over here somewhere. And I got this from my mom, actually. It was my going away to college present from my mom. If you're watching, Mom, thank you so very much. I use this thing every day. Everything that you've seen on my channel is probably 90% edited on this machine. The other 10% is my iMac at work. So, why am I talking about this, this laptop? It's a awesome machine. However, I didn't know I was gonna get into video when I got the laptop. It is 8 gigs of RAM, a 2.7 gigahertz i5 processor, and so far everything that I've said is okay. It gets the job done. It's not, you know, something crazy, but it works. The part that doesn't work anymore is the 128 gigabyte SSD, which is right here. This right here is the SSD that comes inside of it. So today we are looking at the early 2015 MacBook Pro, taking this SSD out and putting in a 970 EVO. So let's hop into it. Okay, so first things first, please excuse the mess, the cables. I know you can probably see them over there. These GoPros keep on getting wider and wider. But my desk setup isn't quite exactly where I want it to be yet. It's like, I want to say maybe 80% there. I'm sitting on a shelf that I got at Home Depot freshman year. So bear with me, probably gonna be a little while. I'm gonna do a desk setup video once I get my desk exactly how I want it to be. But for now, it is what it is. So first, what you're gonna need is a Pentalobe screwdriver. It is a 1.2 millimeter screwdriver. This is what we're gonna need to get through all of these screwdrivers on the back. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screwdrivers that we're gonna need to go through. Be sure to put them in a safe place so you don't lose them. I believe that this upgrade works for MacBook Pros from 2013 up to 2017. You can do it to MacBook Airs as well. Pretty much anything where you can take the proprietary SSD out and put the new one in, you'll be able to do it. If I'm wrong, please do correct me. Alright, now that we're through with all the screws, we can take this back cover off and reveal what we got going on inside. So as you can see, I've actually already got the 970 EVO installed right here. I've actually had it and been testing it out for about 2 days now. I wanted to be sure that it actually worked and it wasn't just going to be, you know, a video where I just got it in and I just started to get it working, and I've tested it out and it works great. But for now, we are going to take out the 970 EVO and put back the original SSD in so that I can show you how it works and the speeds. What I just unscrewed right now is the screw that actually came with the SSD NVMe upgrade kit. It is just a normal Phillips head screwdriver or screw. The one that actually comes attached onto the original SSD on the MacBook Pro is a Torx T5 screwdriver. So you're gonna need that. I found this kit right here at Fry's Electronics. All I needed was the Torx T5 screwdriver inside. I think it was 15, 16 bucks. You can get one on Amazon for like $4 or $5 with Prime, direct delivered straight to your door. So now that we've got the 970 out, all we're gonna do is we're gonna toss this right back in there, like so. So I'm not gonna put the cover back on. I'm just gonna leave it as is for now. I would not recommend doing that, but I just want to show it how it works right now. So what I'm gonna do is turn this around, turn it on, and run a couple speed tests. As you can see, I'll just pick this up real quick and show you right there. That is the stock AHCI SSD from Apple, and it is not, you know, anything special. Login server is not up to my whatever. Okay, so we're in, and all that we're going to do right now is run a quick speed test. So I'm going to search for Blackmagic Disk Speed Test, and we will be on our way. Let's do 1 gigabyte stress test, start the speed test. So writes are right around 300 megabytes a second with reads of about 1.1 gigabytes per second. And now the writes are down to 250. So nothing too crazy. The read speeds are great. The write speeds could be much better. So now that we have that out of the way, and you can see the read and write speeds, let's go ahead and stop that. Close that off. What we're going to have to do now at this point is you're going to need to make a exact copy of this hard drive onto your NVMe drive. So what we're going to need for that is an SSD. I recommend using an SSD because it's going to be much faster creating that copy onto that drive. We're going to go to Carbon Copy Cloner, which if you don't have it downloaded already, I'll have the link in the description. You're going to want to go to Carbon Copy Cloner. So you're going to want to go to Carbon Copy Cloner. It's bombich.com. Really? bombich.com. And you're going to want to download the 30-day trial. Be sure to download this pretty close to when you're going to be doing the actual transfer, because I don't know whether it's going to let you transfer it after that 30-day trial. So download the 30-day trial. After that, you can actually start Carbon Copy Cloner. And what you're going to have to do, see right here, it wants me to purchase it. Nope, back to the trial. You're going to go to the source, which is the actual drive here that this is working off of. This is the 120 gigabyte SSD, which if we go to Mac, storage, it's this one right here, Clay 120 SSD with only 30 gigs left. So you're going to need to grab a storage drive with the right amount of space. Make sure there is enough space, otherwise it might mess up along the way, and then you'll be good. Okay, so what I did is I have a 256 gigabyte SSD. I partitioned it so then I had just enough to actually create the copy to here. I created the copy. I don't need to clone it right now. I already cloned it, and it is a literal exact copy of this drive onto this SSD. So now that we've already got that taken care of, we can eject the drives and close Carbon Copy Cloner and shut down our Mac. Now that we have our copy on here, we can turn off our Mac, shut it down, turn it around, and we are back to where we were before. So at this point, this is going to be where you're going to need the Torx T5 screwdriver, which looks like, let me find it really quickly, this. This is your Torx T5 screwdriver bit. I'll put an enlarged, kind of like image of what it looks like right here so that you can see what it actually looks like. It's super tiny. It's also, I think, the same screwdriver used for getting into iPhones, at least some of the recent ones. That's what you're going to need to get through there. Don't use the Pentalobe one, because I've heard of some people who try to do that and they end up stripping it and they can't get in. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take our adapter, which is linked in the description below. Looks like this. Be sure to use this one, not the one that is just the bit here. This actually gives you something for your drive to sit on, so then it's not just floating in the middle of the air. And there's also this little bit of styrofoam / I don't know, just normal foam for it to sit on. So we'll take that and put it off to the side for now. We'll just put it right here for now. And we're going to take our old SSD out. We're going to move the screw off to the side, lift it up just ever so slightly, and go ahead and wiggle it out. And now we have that SSD out. We're going to take our NVMe drive, plug it in to our adapter, in. It might fly up like that, which is totally fine. And we will go ahead and install it in to the port. See what I mean about it flying up? Okay. It's up and it's in, and all we have to do is push it down and install the screw. So be gentle. These parts are exposed. You don't want to accidentally, hit one of the electronics nearby and then completely screw over your Mac. So that's installed. Super simple, super easy, nothing crazy. And now that we have it installed, we can go ahead and flip this back around, place it down, and we're going to open it up and turn it on. But before we turn it on, make sure to hold down Command R. And if I haven't mentioned it already, make sure you're on the latest version of macOS. You have to be on High Sierra at least in order to have this NVMe drive working with your system. For some reason, I think anything before that, the NVMe drive will not be recognized and you won't be able to find it. The other thing that you need to do, since you have this copied, you need to have this plugged into your Mac. Otherwise, it's not going to find the drive. So let's turn this on, and we're going to hold Command R as soon as we turn it on. Like, literally as soon as it turns on, you want to hold down Command R. And we got the Apple logo. You can let go as soon as you see that bar come up, and you let it run. And it's going to take us to recovery mode, and we're going to be able to see the drives. It will take just a little bit. It shouldn't take too long. If you run into internet recovery mode, then that probably means that your drive may not have been connected properly. And if you let it run through internet recovery mode and you get in there, you're probably not going to be able to detect the NVMe drive. So be sure that you're running off of your hard drive, otherwise it won't work. Okay, now that we're in on macOS utilities, we're going to go to disk utility down here on the bottom, hit continue, and you're going to see 2 drives if you have done it correctly. So up on the top, it should say Samsung, whatever gigabyte you have, Evo, whether you get the Pro, whether you get the Evo, whatever SSD you get, it should show it up there. You're going to need to format it, so you're going to have to go over to Erase up here, and you can rename it however you want, but make sure that it's on macOS journaled. If you do anything else, it's not going to work. Well, maybe one other works, but be sure to do journaled. macOS extended journaled. So you're going to hit Erase, name it however you want. I'm not going to hit Erase because I already have it set up. You're going to let it run through its thing, and you're going to just let it sit. So once it's done formatting the Evo drive or whatever drive you've got, you're going to go over to it and you're going to hit Restore. You're going to click Restore and you're going to find the drive that you used. So this one right here is labeled 128 gigabyte copy clay. You're going to go ahead and hit Restore, let it run through its thing. The first time that I did it, for some reason it messed up. Don't worry about it, it's okay. What you're going to want to do is go back to step 1, reformat that drive again, the Evo drive, the new SSD you're putting in there, and then try again. On the second try, it worked for me. If it runs through any hiccups, maybe drop something in the comment below and I'll try and see if I can help out. So, you're going to let it run through its thing. Mine was 90 gigabytes roughly of stuff, so since it was going from an SSD, it was faster than a regular HDD, and it took probably like 15-20 minutes. So once it finishes doing its thing, that's pretty much it. You're done. All you need to do is go ahead and eject whatever drive you have hooked up, and once it does that, you can unplug your drive and restart. So all that you're going to need to do at this point is go out of here, go up to Startup Disk, and select the drive, the new one, and hit Restart. So as you can see, we're restarting right now. Let me flip this around and show you that we are in fact on that 970 Evo right now. I'll toss it up here. And you can also see that, for me at least, it actually boots up a little bit faster than before. Alright, now that we're in, I'm going to go up to the top over here about this Mac, show you that we are on the new one. We're on macOS Mojave, 2.7 gigahertz i5, 8 gigs of memory, and on storage we have the 500 gigabyte Evo with 417 gigabytes available for storage. Awesome. So, let's launch Blackmagic Disk Speed Test. And we're going to do, you know what? We're going to do 5 gigs. We're going to run that speed test. Immediately you can see there's a huge difference in the write speed. In the read speed, it's about the same, a little bit better. It's actually in the 15s. But the write speed is where you're really going to see and feel the difference. That's literally 4 times better than what it was before. We were getting 300 megabytes a second on the write speed before, and now we're getting close to 15. And that's it. You're done. Like, that's it. All you had to do was put the SSD in there, copy it, restore it. That's it. It's actually surprisingly easy. So at this point, all we really need to do is turn it around, and we'll put the lid back on, which is super simple. We just take it, plop that down, grab our 1.2 pentalobe screwdriver, and toss the screws in. I'm probably going to fast forward through this, or completely skip it because we don't need to see this. And that's it. That's the last screw. You're all set, and it's good to go. So some of you may be wondering what you actually can do with this hard drive, this SSD that you no longer need to use. So there's a company called OWC, which is one of the few companies that actually makes these proprietary drives. OWC and I believe Transcend are the only two companies that make SSDs with this key right here. And Apple's the only one that makes the actual computers that take it. So if you still want to use this drive, OWC, Otherworld Computing, actually has a enclosure where you can put this in it and then use it like a normal hard drive. I don't know why you would want to do that because of the speeds. I would rather just get a regular SSD. But if you want to continue using this on the side, you can. I'll link that enclosure down below. The only other thing that you may be wondering, is there a catch? And the answer to that is not really, but there are a few things you should know. So let's get into that. So before I go into the few drawbacks that you might see from the actual use of the NVMe drive, I think you should know how I use my MacBook, and you're looking at it for the most part. I want to say, honestly, probably 60% of the time, maybe 70% of the time, it's sitting behind my monitor on a dock where it's hooked up to a USB hub, which is right here, and I've got a keyboard hooked up to that hub, and a trackpad or my MX Master, which is what I use, honestly, 70% of the time. That other 30% is when I'm actually taking my laptop to class or school, or working out in the field, or I need my laptop outside. That's rare, but there are a few times that I do use it. Like today, I needed it for class, so I brought it with me. And there really isn't that many drawbacks for me, but there might be a few drawbacks that are significant to you. So right off the bat, the first thing that I noticed right away is the battery does drain faster than normal. So if normal usage I would get anywhere from 4 hours with my MacBook, now I'm getting more around like 3 to 3.5 with heavy use, and I mean heavy use. Final Cut editing with Photoshop open or InDesign open on the side as well, and it'll last me maybe about 3 hours. Now again, that's rare because about 70% of the time I have it hooked up to a monitor, or if I'm using it at work on the side, I've got it hooked up to power regardless. So it's rare that I don't have my laptop hooked up to power while I'm using it. So power really wasn't that much of an issue to me because I rarely use it by itself, but it does drain a little bit faster. I'd say probably about 15% faster than normal. The other thing, which you have to be careful with, is it does get a little bit warmer faster. I did notice that the fan kicks in quicker than before because it warms up a little bit faster. The drive does warm up, it does get a little bit hot, but it's not to the point where I've been concerned yet. Just know though, it will get a little bit warm, but it's not that bad. So those are really the only two things that I've noticed so far. I've been using it now for about 3-4 days, and it's been working totally fine. This video has been edited completely on the NVMe drive on my laptop. And, well, I mean, you're watching it, so 4K at 30 frames per second, 2K coming from the GoPro above. So if you were like me, where you should have maybe upgraded your storage when you got your laptop, but you didn't, this might be an awesome solution for you. I believe I only picked this up for about $150, and it's 500 gigabytes of NVMe storage, and it is fast. I mean, it may even be faster than some of the new MacBook Pros that are at. Don't know about that actually for sure. Don't quote me on it. But I'm super satisfied with it. I got the storage that I need so that I can edit on my laptop. I don't have to work off of a hard drive. Maybe I'll still do that, of course, on the side. But I can edit actual projects on my laptop, which is going to be huge for me. And I've been looking forward to it for a while. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, feel free to check out the video that I used when I was doing this upgrade below. Drop any comments or questions you have below, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider subscribing. If you liked it, you know which button works. And if you didn't like it, the other button will work as well. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!